Welcome back. After the first video blew up, I decided to keep going with the video series to see if a $500 truck is worth repairing and driving. Today we actually will be working on the truck. I want to remove the bed, prep the frame, add a rust converter and a rust encapsulator to it, and do some repairs while we have the bed off. Let's get to it. Starting with the bed, just a quick 6 bolts holding it to the frame, a couple wire harnesses, and the gas cap. You don't want to forget that. Just 3 little bolts holding that on. I got an overhead hoist in the garage, which is real convenient for doing it by yourself. Just lift her up, drag her over, get that sofa out of the way, and we're done. Now, there's a lot of rust converting and rust encapsulating products out there. I went with the Seal Rust Converter and the Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus. And when I say wire brush up the frame, I just want to get these chunks and flakes that'll come off by themselves, because it actually needs rust to convert. You don't want it down to bare metal. I watched a couple YouTube videos ahead of this to try and figure out what rust converter and encapsulator to use, and everybody seemed to have a different conclusion, so I can't vouch for this stuff, but I'll be more than happy to let you know how it holds up in the future. Some people use the needle scalers to do this, and they seem to work well, but I do not have one, so most of mine was a hammer and a chisel to knock off the big chunks, and then a little whizzy wheel to clean it all up, then hit it with some air to get all the dust off. But this dust from all the rust went everywhere. It sucks doing it in winter with all the doors shut. Here you can see me taking the spare tire carrier off that I mentioned in the last video. I actually had to bring out the torch, heat it up, but the bolt didn't break, which is always a positive. As I'm recording this audio right this second, I have not figured out how to add music in the background. If I figure it out, you will hear it. If you don't, it's because I haven't figured it out. On to the Seal. This stuff is white, looks and smells like Elmer's glue when it's sitting there, but once you apply it to the metal, it slowly turns black and gets an acidic smell, almost like an aluminum acid wash. That's the closest thing I could relate it to, which maybe it has some of the same properties of it. Now, if you look close at the left side of the screen, my wife is going to pop in here. Whoa! There she is, and there she goes. I'm going to let the rest of this play out. If I find music, you'll be listening to it right now. If not, I'll add some little soothing beatboxes for you, just so you got something to listen to. Oh, yeah. Found that copyright-free music. Really brings this time lapse together. This is like something you hear in the dentist waiting room. A computer made this, I guess. They're getting pretty good. Wait, that's it? The time lapse isn't even done. Do I bring another track in? Oh, man. Alright, here this is on day 3. The first day was knocking off rust, which took a lot longer than I thought. There was a lot of rust there. Wasn't sure if there'd be any frame left over, and I was done. And then 2 days for 2 coats of Seal. You can see most of it has a nice glossy finish, but I think that's what it's supposed to look like. But there are some spots that are still this dull rust areas. So I'm going to hit those again, just a little touch up so that I know it's all completely covered. I did do the frame as well under the cab. It just isn't worth recording. It's on a really bad angle, hard to get shots of, but you can trust it looks just like this. I touched up those last few spots. There was a couple under the cab as well. So I'm not going to paint the encapsulator on tonight. I got to wait for this to dry. But what I can do tonight is change the fuel pump and put on the new spare tire carrier. This thing was nasty. I ended up breaking both the evap line and the fuel line trying to take it off. I went ahead and replaced the fuel line with a nice 3/8 nylon, one piece all the way front to back. I won't have to worry about it corroding in the future. Look at that, she came with a full tank of fuel too. Let me look that up quick. Wow, so 24 gallons at $2.70 a gallon, that's almost $65 in free gas. I should take that off the purchase price, technically. The new spare tire carrier, not much to see here, just the plastic shaft and one bolt holding it in. Please do not judge me by my garage ceiling. I am working on it, but it's a work in progress. I know it looks terrible. Here goes the rust encapsulator. This stuff was real thick. I ended up buying 2 quarts because I didn't have enough to do the underside of the bed. The first quart was very, very thick. The second quart was very thin, like normal paint. So I'm not sure why that happened, but it's worth mentioning. Here is the final product. Now the rust leaves a dimpled surface, so it almost looks like rubberized undercoating, but it is a rock hard paint when it's done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We'll see how it holds up. This is the last repair I'm doing with the bed off, replacing the rear shocks. You can see I got the spare tire back up in there. Now, the rear shocks are real easy, 4 bolts in and out. Not a huge process, but if I didn't record it, can I even say I did it? So here it is. Putting the rust encapsulator on the bottom of the bed. In the first video, I know I said that this body was in really good shape. There's 2 small paint bubbles above the wheel arches on the bed, but when I got to the underside, I could see they're damn near gone. It's in really bad condition, so I don't know if I'm gonna repair them in the future. I'm just gonna push that problem down the road for now because I mainly just want to get the truck together and actually drive it for a bit. The last step for this video, getting the bed back on. I'm real excited for this. It's been 7 minutes for you guys, but a couple of weeks for me. The repairs didn't take that long, but I was waiting on parts from all these random places. Not only that, but it's been taking up 2 stalls in my garage the way it was sitting, and it's cold out right now, so I'm glad to get my garage back and to finally be able to drive the truck. I bought it and took it apart right away, so I haven't got to put many miles on it. Now at the end of these videos, I want to keep a running tally of the parts cost that we have into it. Let me scoot over here. We have 66 for the core seal, 110 for the encapsulator, 250 for the fuel pump, 38 for the fuel line and fittings, 65 for the spare tire carrier, 190 for the hitch, and 67 for the rear shocks. That brings us to a grand total of $1,286 when factoring in the purchase price. Now hold on one second, you might be thinking. We didn't put no hitch on, and yeah, I didn't record it. I thought I did. I cannot find the footage. It was not that exciting. 6 bolts, and it's on there now. Excuse you. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.